So today I'm going to change the oil on my 2015 CB500F Honda. I've had the bike out today for a few hundred miles, so I am tired and the engine is cooled down, I think. So here's what we're going to use: a oil drain pan. I'm using 3 quarts of 10W30 Honda oil. I've been using Vortex oil filter just because I could get it from Rocky Mountain ATV MC, where I got all my stuff, and that one has a nut on the end of it to make it easier to pull off next time. A couple gloves, and then I have the wrench for the stock filter and a 12mm nut. So we're gonna get at it. So just for reference point, this is what my oil looks like at around 600 miles from new. So not beautiful, but not really dark or gross or anything like that. So this is the first oil change on this bike. Let's locate the oil drain plug. Just follow the motor underneath and you'll see it right there. It's the only bolt under here that could possibly be the oil drain, so it's not too difficult to find. Just wanted to highlight, this is why I wear gloves. That oil just flew right out of that bad boy all the way to the back of my pan right away. Started getting rained on here a bit, but got the wrench on to pull the oil filter off. It just spins off like any other bolt. As you can see here, some oil will come out as part of this process, but not a lot. Just have your pan under it just in case. Here you can see the rest of the draining process once you get the filter off. Okay, this is the Vortex filter. You see she comes wrapped, has a nut on the end. I'll show a comparison to the stock filter here in a second. Alright, comparing the stock Honda filter to the Vortex filter, you can look at the sizing, roughly the same size. Visually speaking, not a whole lot of difference. Here in the light you can see the filtration that's inside. Nothing crazy. Kind of the same story here. Again, you see the filtration inside. Generally speaking, I mean, I think this is a perfectly adequate replacement filter, and I have no concerns about it in any way. We'll see how she goes, but I think having this nut on top will be a nice feature. But I think filtration should be just fine, but time will tell. With the Vortex filter, it's also worth noting it takes a 17mm socket head. Now to get the filter ready to go, I have a little bit of a procedure I go through. It's going to be pretty difficult to do this. There we go. I like to splash just a smidgen of oil into the filter at first. Something like that should be adequate. And then take what I have around and ring it around the filter here. Put that up, make sure she goes in. Alright, I'll wipe off the edge and we will install it. Okay, so I've got the filter tightened down hand tight, and we'll snug it up with the old ratchet here. Alright, that's tight enough as far as I'm concerned. Okay, now the oil fill is located right here where she states oil. So we'll take that cap off and pour our oil in. Okay, now what I've done is I've filled it all but maybe a quarter of a quart. And then we're going to check and see what the oil level is. It should be high because we'll need to start the bike and see. I'm on my side stand. I'm already showing with the oil. So what I'm going to do is put the cap on and start the bike and let it be able to cycle oil into the filter, and then we should be able to top it off and know exactly where it needs to be. Okay, now in starting the bike, check and see here if it starts. Oil sensors are very pleased, but it turned off there right away. Now we're going to let this run for just a few seconds here, and what we're going to see
oil now has gone down. Then it's filtered into the oil filter.
Okay, so I've topped it off. We're going to start the bike again.
And this is with all 3 quarts in. If I tilt it up here, what you're going to see is I'm within my window when the bike is straight up and down, which is what you want to do. You do not want to check this on the side stand. If you check it on the side stand, you will very likely overfill the bike. So it should look like this on the side stand, but when you straighten it up, you should have some oil in there. I'm going to let this run for a minute or two and check and see if we have any leaks. Okay, I've checked for leaks, and as far as I can tell, everything is kosher and running well. You cannot see the filter down there, but all is well, so everything looks good. You may get a little bit of an oil smell anywhere that oil did fall off onto the exhaust of the engine, but in general, everything should be good and not dripping anywhere, and we seem to be good on that occasion. So